Saddle up, partner, it's Zach and Jake. They ride through the sports fields with no burr breaks. Quick touchdowns and home runs make the stakes. Their laughter's gold while your ribs quake. They got wild tales and crazy bets to share. From touchdowns to slam dunks, they'll take you there. So grab your hat, join in this affair. Flurry Sports Podcast beyond compare. Yeehaw, it's the Flurry crew. With Zach and Jake, you'll never feel blue. Rustle up sports with a laugh or two. Flurry Sports, reign the Wild West just for you.
Yeehaw, it's the Flurry Sports crew.
Yeehaw! Wow! Howdy, partners!
That didn't need to go that hard, but I'm glad AI really met where I was at today. I completely forgot Suno was a thing, and I didn't type in lyrics, even though it does sound like Yeehaw, it's the Flurry Sports crew, does sound like it comes directly from me. I always have a little bit of Yeehaw energy, I feel like, during NFL season, but AI is getting better. I think that's what I took from that.
AI is getting better. I still like that it sounds like every time I hear an AI song, I think they've still got like the same group of 5 singers they draw from.
Yes, for sure. 100%.
Which I like. I'm also having a moment of like, what do you think was the reaction to the first time someone said yeehaw?
What? I mean, if you just say yeehaw, even singing yeehaw like that, it's a little out of place. Like, okay, like cool. If you scream it though, I mean, I think that shows what you're feeling, you know?
Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking, because you know what I have in my mind? The only modern comparison is every time I see a sports person now, it's let's fucking go. So I feel like at some point a cowboy got off a horse and he's like, yeehaw! And everyone's like, that dude slaps. He's so fun.
I mean, he was probably, an ancestor of the Osmond family and was jumped off his horse, said, yee, and then immediately landed directly on the side of his foot and sprained his ankle and went,
Or it's a call response. I was thinking that too. It's very
sure.
Jameis Winston. Yee on 3, ha on 6.
Potentially the new starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, unless he's so upset that he sits.
Man, there's a lot of backup action out there, and somehow Joe Flacco's out of a job.
I mean, he's got a job, but Joe Flacco, he's in the perfect situation. He doesn't have to do anything, and everyone's like, yeah, he is one of the guys of the NFL. He's one of the best players out there.
He is the only backup, though. I heard everyone be like, and now he comfortably rests, proven to be the greatest of all time.
If the Colts win this weekend, they're number 1 in their division, and that shouldn't be a thing. And then Joe Flacco is just going to return in time for the playoffs. Like he's going to take over for Richardson to go on a run.
That's what's going to happen.
Sounds scripted, you would say.
Okay, I have a couple notes on scripted things before we get into our main thing today, which is first, I don't listen. The NFL's not scripted. Spoilers, but if it were, I don't think we're pointing at the right things. That's always been my thing about the scripted piece. Is it's like I can tell it's scripted because of the number one thing people pay attention to. It's like that would be where you find it. I do think it's interesting. A week after I remembered Marcus Mariota's in the NFL.
Oh, then he pops up.
Jaden Daniels takes a dive. Coincidence?
I mean, it sounds like you're to blame. I don't know.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Not just me, but he had his big moment last week. Derrick Henry was like, Marcus, my dog. And now all of a sudden it was like he thrusted him back in the spotlight. Everyone's like, oh, Marcus Mariota, that guy doesn't get enough love. Boom. Rib injury. You're in.
And he looked good.
The flying
Mariota can spin it.
Yeah, he's good, dude.
Maybe the Falcons were the problem. Who knew?
Maybe the Falcons and the Titans were the problem. Honestly, he was fine in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, he was fine. And they were like, you know what? There's someone better we could go to. And then there wasn't. And then they tried it again.
Daniels, overrated?
Honestly, people are talking about it. They should be at least. Yeah, right now.
No, I know. Maybe it's all Terry McLaurin.
Maybe
Scary
it's
Terry.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, true. Big Cliff. I don't know. It was nice to see Marcus pop up. It was like that one week we got Colt McCoy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the quarterback renaissance this season's been great. I'm trying to look at the backups to see who's next, because we've had Flacco, we've had Andy Dalton, we've now had Mariota. Next week, I assume it's going to be Winston.
Yeah,
then
we've had too much Tim Boyle.
Yeah, he's not one of the throwbacks I was thinking of, but we have had too much already. That's for sure.
You know who has not really made his mark yet? Favorite of the show, Tyrod Taylor.
That's what I was thinking. We knew the Jets are gonna they're gonna fail at some point, just so Tyrod Taylor can come in. Aaron Rodgers will get hurt because Tyrod's gonna come in and then get hurt immediately after. I'm interested to see when that's gonna be, given the how the season's gone so far.
If that happens, can we get a close up of Davante at his house, and then the camera pans out and Tyrod's there?
That's another good point. For the little things that are scripted in the NFL.
Yes, that was the other one I was going to bring up.
That scene was scripted for sure.
He was already there.
Yeah, and it was perfect, by the way.
Here's what I wanted to bring up. Yeah, he was just there. Of course, his ankle was healthy, so it's like those little things for sure. I will say, if I was writing a script, I would write this story, which is, because people focus it on the wrong parts. Everyone's like, oh, a script. Sure, Davante and Rodgers just happen to get back together. No. Davante and Rodgers happen to get back together, do a very corny video where they're like, who's that behind you? Oh, your best friend. They're living at the same house, and now they stink, is how I would write that script.
It's so funny.
Because we forever will have to watch that clip of Davante's here. It's like the only thing, it was the moment where people are like, am I out on Pat McAfee? And I'm like, that's what did it.
Right. It's so stupid. I can't wait for the Jets. The Jets have to play the Packers now with Rodgers and Davante there, though, because it's going to be at Lambeau. So I'm guessing next year that's going to happen. And Lambeau's going to play and just boo so loud. All of the anger, the pain of every Wisconsin sports team failing as soon as you start to believe in them, all of that's going to come out in that boo. And then Rodgers will probably spank the Packers. That's how that happens.
That is true. In defense of a script, I will say this has added belief to me that the Packers could win a Super Bowl. Okay. Because Packers winning a Super Bowl and then playing Davante and Rodgers on a different team, very funny.
That is true. That is funny.
That's the script. But no, I saw that clip and I'm like, fuck you. And now I haven't watched that whole game and just hear about how we drive into work together. He has an apartment that he doesn't want to move into.
Yeah. He gets lonely at night. Rodgers needs to sing.
Did you hear that?
Dude's like,
bed. We'll buy you an apartment. He's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what's Rodgers got to think too? Okay, I invited you over for one night. I didn't say the whole weekend.
And also, I'm sure it's true. This is the thing, not the thing of Rodgers that drives me nuts, but a thing of Rodgers that kind of drives me nuts. Every time I hear him talk about a friendship he has, he's like, I really appreciate Davante because we have such high intellect conversations. Fuck off. So far off. You were so high when you had those convos, I could tell. And you were like, what's it all about, man? I know that was the combo. I know it was like, what do you mean high level conversations? Have you and I ever had a high level combo? I was thinking about that.
I mean, we got 9 seasons of this show. There's a couple glimpses of something they're onto something. There's a little tingle there. And then all of a sudden we say something, mispronounce Tyrod's name or something.
Honestly, Pat McAfee, give me $10 and then do this bit because it'd be so funny. Can I get a tier list episode of Rodgers leveling conversations?
True. I think in that clip, to be completely fair, the whole thing was about football. So he was talking about things that they recalled from the past. It's very high. Very high.
I know what you're saying.
In multiple ways.
Yeah.
Many ways high.
Many ways high. I do also love the idea that these two ball knowers going back and forth. Be a little better, huh? Glad you
True.
remember everything.
Yeah, it's one thing to talk about it. Why don't you just play good football? Maybe you should have studied the playbook instead of talking about it all the time.
Never had a high-level football conversation? Brett Favre.
True. Same number of Super Bowls, baby.
It's 100%. Okay, Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw has never talked about a go route.
He has no idea of anything about football. He has no clue what's going on.
No, he still thinks people trying to hug and kiss him every time he sees some X's and O's on the board.
True. It's so nice. Football's just such a loving sport. That's why I stayed around.
That's right. Speaking of nice things, Zach, we got a pretty nice game for the folks today.
We do. So, Jake, we talked about it last week. We teased it at the end of the show last week. We have a segment called No Creative Solutions. So there's some obvious issues in sports, right? Everyone likes to complain about these issues. Everyone has their own take on how to fix these issues. However, a lot of these solutions are hypotheticals. Maybe they don't actually bring a solution that fixes the problem. That's kind of a big one usually. Until today, though, Jake, you and I, we have a segment called No Creative Solutions, and we will be fixing many things in sports. The only two conditions. One, it cannot be creative, and two, it has to be a solution. We have to fix the issue. Now, will these solutions create other problems? Almost definitely yes, but that is not our issue.
No.
Okay? That's a different show. That's a different segment.
By the way, that's the whole thing. Every time I hear a sports thing, it's like, well, that causes something else. Just do it. See what happens.
Yeah. We don't know until we don't know. Try it. If we're complaining about this one thing, fix the one thing. If we have to complain about things down the road, I'm sure we'll do that. That's fine. Just let's bring a little bit of change here. Let's liven it up. Let's excite some things. And that's probably a theme for some other sports that we're going to be talking about. Football is exciting. Some of these sports stink. Not football.
Some of these sports stink, and some of the football stuff is dumb. We're fixing the small, dumb things. We're fixing the big, stupid things. So, no, it's good. It's got to be simple, non-creative. Got to be able to be pitched in one meeting.
Yes.
And
in 10 seconds at most, I think.
Correct. And unequivocally a solution.
Yes, for sure. Again, of that one thing, what we're complaining about. And if you guys are watching live or after the fact, if you have an issue with your team, if you have an issue with the sport as a whole, with anything big or small, let us know and we will give the solution. If we have enough after the fact, like at the bottom of the video or something in the comments, we'll have to do this segment again because we are problem solvers. That's what we do. And most of all, we're ideas guys, right? We don't need to put it into action, but we can brainstorm. We can form enough intellectual property here to get some credit down the road, I think. That's in parentheses. No creative solutions, parentheses, intellectual property. That's the name of the segment, I think.
Correct. I love it. I was thinking of an example to give the folks of like what's something where this happened in real life. Decades of people arguing, what about the implications of instant replay? If you and I were in that room, we would have had instant replay in the 80s.
Yeah, way before.
I can see it on TV. Do that.
Yeah. So we could have a second look. Okay, great.
That everyone else already sees. Cool.
Boy, that's the slippery slope. To what?
That's right. Cowabunga, dude. Get your sled. Let's see where it goes.
So dumb. So we talked about it a little bit last week, and we can start with the same one that we brought it up with.
That's right.
Baseball has issues, okay? Like, there's no doubt that this is a historic sport. Is it America's pastime? Yeah, way far in the past. And that's where the game continues to stay. And my pitch is the same as what we talked about last week. Let's just get rid of 40 games. I think it helps a lot.
I think not only am I going to co-stamp this, so I think if we get 2 votes in, like this totally fixes the problem. I think, that's our solution. That's our NCS,
Yeah.
It's dangerously close to a syndicated TV show. But anyway, our NCS, no I. There is, not only do I agree with you, Zach, I'm going to go ahead and just throw it in there. This fixes basketball. This fixes hockey.
Yeah.
I think baseball honestly, tell me why any season needs to be more than 60 games.
I don't see a reason. You can have multiple you can have multiple seasons in a year. TV shows do that all the time.
And play a little less often.
Yeah, that too. There's so many issues like, oh my God, these people are resting. Oh, there's so many injuries. Let's all take a breather. Okay. Let's all pause for a second. Not everyone needs to play every day of the week. You can stagger it a little bit.
I was thinking about this of like, for all of the systems in the US that like have just become like, we're just not going to compete with each other. Sports is the one where it's like, fuck you, NFL, I'm going head to head. It's like, what if there's 4 quote unquote major sports. There's 12 months. Everybody take 3 fucking months. Get out of the way. Like the NFL is already pretty much like it's September to December, essentially, with a little playoffs. You can give me a little overlap.
Little bit for sure.
Like if that would help. Have
so
4
much.
months each, and there's 1 month overlap there. Fine.
But even if we don't want to fully stagger it, like, could you imagine just taking off the last 2 months of baseball? So it would start in April, and then the World Series would be in August.
Correct.
Or would it be? So yeah, it would be August. So right before NFL season starts. That fixes so many issues. You don't have to be. You can get rid of even more than 40 games at that point. Then, so then you're not playing important like postseason games at 2 p.m. Like, no, why are we doing that? That makes no sense.
Trying to schedule playoff games in New York in October. Like, and so now dumb. November.
Yeah, so, we're lucky this year. This could have been a much bigger shit show.
Well, could have been so cold. Announced the World Series for sure starts Friday. Like they've already announced it's not going to start until then. And so they are still gonna. The earliest it could end is November 1st.
That's when 4 games are in.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to have a lot of rest in between for travel. I'm guessing, right?
Correct. That's the deal. Like and now that it's one series, they're like not competing against. Like they're not trying to compete against the NFL and that kind of thing. So, but it's like basically a day of rest between every game, essentially. So it's pretty spread out. It could end there. So yeah, it's pretty late already. No, listen, the length of time, and they could squeeze some games in or spread them out a little bit. Baseball should be May to August. It's like the only summer sport. I think about that sometimes. Like, you have a season.
Well, also, like, just think about this. So the College World Series ends in June, or it's in June, and then the MLB plays another a third of the year. They play another 4 months.
Yeah.
Like, what sport does that? It's like, okay, this is what we play for, but then the pros play another year in the future, essentially. It's insane.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's also the only sport where it's like their true off season is only a month.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like if you think of the teams that compete the longest, and when like pitchers and catchers will report Jan 1st.
Why? Like, truly, that doesn't even make sense to me.
It's a stretch out thing because they don't get any rest. Like, so it's like you have to like be warmed up a certain amount of time. So like,
there's no shot catchers need to be there.
Well, someone's got to catch the pitches. That part, super dumb. That's why
Put a bucket.
Yeah.
There's another solution.
They're building that relationship with the pitchers. Hey, by the way, solved by a shorter season. That's dumb.
True.
Solved by a shorter season. People will watch more baseball. It solves all the playoff bullshit. That was what we were talking about last week. Baseball is the best example of it because I don't know if there's an issue in baseball that isn't solved by a shorter season.
Correct. Yeah.
I do want to briefly mention baseball. It's a little bit better because there's some nuanced things it does. It's also just so long. I will say I was having a hard time thinking of any issue basketball has that isn't solved by it. Like basketball might be more encompassing of like, you are the most entertaining sport.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, for sure.
Like everyone understands basketball. And here's what I mean by that. Like we can have a discussion about football or whatever. Some people are out on football for different reasons.
True.
March Madness is quantifiably the most watched event that happens annually.
Yeah.
And NBA can't retain viewers.
No, yeah, it's insane. It makes no sense. But I mean, just going back to postseason baseball. So this is another thing. No creative solutions. How do you fix postseason, MLB postseason? I pulled numbers. I did a little bit of research here.
Nice. We love some numbers.
So
don't get too creative.
Yeah, trust me, I will not. Padres and Dodgers. One of their games during this divisional series was the most watched divisional series game since 2017. Okay.
Yeah.
7.5 million viewers, which is great for baseball. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good for you. That's cute. Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime averages 14 million people. Do not compete with the NFL. They average that on Prime. Like, that's not easy to get to. A lot of the old heads aren't getting there. It's Thursday in the middle of the week, and they're doubling you on your best day.
That's so true. I was going to bring up this point of, like, it even fixes, like, as much as we, like, one of the things we're not going to specifically talk about because we solved it last week. It's super easy. Hey, don't do any fucking afternoon games. Like, what? Yeah. All that said, like, people would watch in the afternoon if there's nothing else on.
True. So
you know how many classes we did do in high school March Madness is on?
Oh, it's the best. That's the absolute best.
If baseball playoffs are a thing, who cares when it is? I'll watch it in the afternoon if it is. See, to your point about that Dodgers-Padres game, want to talk about caring about baseball? That was 7.5 US. That game got 9.5 million people watching it 8 a.m. on a Saturday in Japan.
We don't care about the Japanese, though.
Well, okay, first off, konnichiwa to all of our fans in Japan. I love you and I support you, Team Jake. Anyway, Gesundheit, mazel tov. But that said, I don't even know if I offended anyone there. I lost track of the cultures we dipped into. But that said, like, my only point there being, like, baseball fans are like, oh, people can't watch a 3 p.m. game. They woke up to watch baseball because it's like their thing there because they don't care about the NFL.
Well, even still, like,
we woke up to watch the London game. It was
that's what I was just gonna say. You're saying, oh, no one's gonna break their sleep schedule for the sport. NFL has done it 3 weeks in a row, and we're about to do 2 more in Germany. Like, people, if they want to watch it, they'll watch it. It'll be fine. Or worst case scenario, the absolute worst case scenario is they record it.
I know. It's dumb. The season's shorter. It solves literally all of baseball's issues. People want to like baseball. It's just like, how many sports are you going to pay attention to? Right.
And again, will this create other issues? Absolutely. There's going to be some tough conversations that need to be had.
Revenue.
Shohei, remember how this year you took $2 million? What if you did that every year? You know what I mean? Like, let's just give all of that back and help pay your other teammates. There's going to be conversations like that, but that's not our conversations to have.
No, and they'll still make plenty of money. Yeah, the NFL makes how much more, and they play, to be honest, an unknown number of games. I can't. Who knows anymore? Stop changing how many games you play.
Fair enough. 17 as of now. We'll see.
And
remember a couple years ago when we had Wednesday football games? That was so much fun. It was so good.
Football should be all the time. Someone did that statistic of, like, because of college football, we're in a stretch until like 2 weeks from now. There is a football game every day till Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Wednesday and Thursday night college football is so much fun.
Hawaii. The best. There you are.
Hawaii, Boise State. I got so happy. Is the happiest I've been in a long time. I saw Hawaii, Boise State starting at like 10:30. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be the greatest night of all time. I love this.
Boise State is a fun bandwagon to be on, by the way.
Yes, dude. Gene T or whatever, just standing like a Michael Myers in the backfield, just like terrifying. And then you'll just run past everybody. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, I know. Let's focus on the NBA for a second, okay?
Okay.
I think the way to, it's a little different than MLB, and maybe we'll come to the same conclusion. Let's try and come up with a non-creative solution. We've already said just shorten the season. But I think the issue in the NBA is, like, the games are not fun to watch until the last X minutes. And then if you were to get to a season, and that one we kind of answered, no one really pays attention until the playoffs.
Yeah.
So how do you make the NBA more meaningful, both in game and for the season? I think that's the best way to boil that down.
I have some thoughts on actual solutions, but when I was just typed in, I was looking up NBA viewership as well.
Yeah.
There's an article that specifically from slowboring.com, never heard of them. Shout out to you though. This whole article is how to fix the NBA. And this one part is the experimentation fallacy, which sounds really smart. That's a cool way to say this. But just talking about how regular season games are not exciting whatsoever and they need to figure out something. I want to know if any of these hit home to you. And all of them way too creative, I will say. But do any of these hit home to you? So, obviously, they started with reducing schedule. Duh.
Yeah.
Obviously. Experimenting with multiple tournaments with stakes on the playoffs. Uh-oh! Does this author listen to the Flurry Sports podcast?
Yeah, yeah, stakes? That's a crazy solution. That was going to be one of my non-creative solutions was, how about some stakes, dude?
Last year, we put the winner of the NBA Cup directly to the playoffs. They didn't even need to show up the rest of the year.
That's right.
That's what other ideas they got. Move the three-point line back to decrease the number of threes made and taken, which I do think would help. Eliminate intentional fouls to increase the pace and enjoyment at the end of the game. So no more hack-a-shack.
Yeah.
And then this one is the one I'm most interested in, what you have to say. Implement a target score so every game needs to end on a game-winning shot.
Okay, talk me through. Way too creative. Okay, talk me through that.
Way too creative. So I'm not sure if you watched the TST, so the soccer tournament. That was the one like Pat McAfee, JJ Watt were competing in this past year.
I heard it was happening.
I thought it was super exciting, honestly. I think this is the target score, perfect for soccer for sure. But then the way they did it is at the end of regulation, whoever's in the lead, they have to score one more. So if it's a 3-1 game,
got it.
The team losing has to get to 4. And the team winning just has to score one more goal. But the game always ends on a goal. So in the NBA, this person's just saying first to 120, and whoever hits 120 is the winner. Now, what do you think of that, one? And two, is it more exciting if we play cornhole rules where you can bust and go back down?
I literally was going to be like, what's the difference between that and cornhole? But it's just they don't play the bus practice. Okay. I like the concept of it. I do. And this was the whole reason why I brought this game up. I have a hard time with it only because I hate that idea would be more palatable than like cutting some games or like some of the simpler things where it's like, I hear you. And it's like the end of the game isn't really like any team can make a comeback. I think that plays to the strength of it a little bit. Like, here's what I would say. One tournament where they do, or that being a different rule set for the in-season tournament, I'm in on. I think that's
true.
Fun. That's very cool. So yeah, I think like I love the idea of a team being super good at that particular scoring system, and it only matters there. It's like Nadal only being good on clay.
I will say,
tennis talk.
I overall don't think this works for basketball, but the most fun this would be is those dirty, grinded out games where it's just low scoring, a bunch of fouls, and then all of a sudden it's like, we got to score 30 more points, and each team literally only has 5 players left each because of fouls. So then they're trying not to foul. We're watching nobody shoot the basketball. That's kind of fun to me. Yeah. But that's not going to happen very often.
I agree. I think there are moments where that's fun. Here's my real take. I don't know what that solves. I think it's nothing. It's something new to watch. I do love the I think it's not glamorous, but I think in a non-creative way, the foul thing is good. Like that
the intentional foul one?
Yeah. It's a pretty good like distillation of some of the issues that happen with pace of like fouling should not be a cheat code in the NBA. And it is.
No, it is
a strategy.
But there's no solution for that specifically that's anything other than creative. Because, okay, so other fouls are still legal.
So what
are you doing? But like, so what's the punishment? Do we fine people?
I think they should be kicked out of the game.
I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, that's fair too.
I was thinking about that. You want the non-creative solution? You get 3 fouls a game.
Yeah. Use them wisely. Play disciplined basketball.
Conservative. I do think, here's what I will say. Sports do this all the time where it's like sports used to change rules all the fucking time. And I love the idea that it's like someone's going to freak out at the 3-point line one. And it's like, we used to not have one. So I don't move it back. Sure. Like, it's like, my only thing is like, then they will move back. Like, I don't, what's the distance? And again, does that solve the particular problem? I think the major thing is the games don't matter. So they play like every game doesn't matter. So you need to solve that. This would be my fix for regular season. Are you ready for this? Lean in close, folks, because I don't know if you've heard about this before. It's a little thing called divisions.
No shit. Why?
Why? All of this bullshit. We're going to do beat bag score before we add divisions back in?
I mean, they're there, but I don't know the point.
That's the
whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, the Timberwolves, Western Division champs. We still got that big ass banner up.
Yeah, we do.
KG's only. But like, no, add divisions. It's like the only saving grace of baseball's long season.
True. That is
true.
Can
you imagine if that was just AL, and that would be miserable.
That's true. Oh God, that would be terrible, huh?
So
like, teams would be tanking for 3 months.
It also fixes almost all of the playoff concern. Like, we should have done this as soon as the Spurs came out and said we're resting until fucking April.
Yeah, that's Popovich just like, stop us. Like, what do you want me to do? No, don't rest.
No, we're the 2 seed. Like, we should do something then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Hockey too.
I just don't think. I hear from a lot of people that basketball has the most drama, the most excitement between the players, and most like storylines to follow. Okay, I disagree.
The answer is the WWE.
I mean, maybe, but like, by the way, I watched the Vince McMahon documentary finally. Maybe the NBA has storylines. Does it matter if not a single one of them is interesting? The last one I cared about was Draymond punching Jordan Poole because it was funny.
I think I could see the argument of, we've said this before, the NBA without any effort probably has the easiest time making stars because you can literally see their face all the time and they have the most name recognition. So I could see that, like, yes, I can like see the storyline of like, I know what LeBron's deal is this season. I can see that. I can buy into that. But here's where I would disagree in terms of like best. There will be no progression until the playoffs come.
Yeah, that too.
Like,
who cares?
Like, and maybe they make it. Like, there's no like, maybe they make it, maybe they don't. Like, it was the LeBron thing for years of like, oh, he's sneaking in. Like, does he care? No,
he doesn't care. And I would assume one of the bigger stories, let's just say Milwaukee Bucks fans are caring about, right? Yeah. So Lillard versus Portland, whatever, who cares? I'll watch. It doesn't matter. Giannis versus the Pacers, because remember, he's made like his career high and then they took the ball. Yeah. That doesn't interest me. Like, even when it was happening, like, get the fuck over it. Like, they're your rivals. They're supposed to piss you off.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's a little secret, okay? Baseball does this too. We care about the little shit because we have to.
Yeah.
The season's so long. I have to care about that time you hit me 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's true. How is the player getting up for that? Like, there's no shot.
No. So I hear that, like, the season being shorter again is the fix, but divisions are just like no brainer that like the NBA could do tomorrow, especially when they want us to believe in rivalries.
Is there? Yeah, there's almost no rivalries in basketball. There just isn't.
True. And otherwise, in the game, I've got a non-creative solution. Are you ready? I do think it would help.
Okay.
Halves. No quarters, halves. College football, college basketball timing.
Yeah, college basketball's proven that's what works, I guess. Maybe there's some magic in it. I think it's the stupidest thing they've ever done. I don't understand it.
I agree. But is there anything more annoying than watching women's college basketball and them being like, quarters?
Yeah, that's true. Why are they doing that? What's their issue?
Here's the only reason why I would make an argument for the NBA, because they play like it anyway. The first and third period do not matter. So
I'm down for trying something. We got to shake something.
It might help with pacing. I wonder. Lack of defense. The only thing I could think of is like, again, less fouls. I don't know.
I mean, that's the perfect rule to try in the in-season tournament. Legitimately,
halves
because I mean, I guess they count towards regular season games anyway, so it messes with stats a little bit. But like, I mean, just try it. Like, players are going to be playing less. Great. That seems good. Seems like most people would be excited for that.
Yeah, that's
also relegation. If I need to watch another Pistons game in my life, too soon. Get them out.
I think relegation would be I think basketball is the best fit for relegation, because there is a notable quality difference in play. The only, like, baseball, that wouldn't necessarily solve anything. Like, I'm thinking of like the bad teams are like clearly not trying, like the White Sox. Like, it's like there's
in hockey, we may forget teams exist fully, so we can't do that. We got to
hockey would also be good for relegation, because it feels like Ottawa is in a different league already.
I mean, though, like, you put Salt Lake City,
Columbus,
bumfucks, whatever they went with, a hockey team or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You put them down there, and it's like, okay, they're gone forever. Like, it doesn't matter. My life doesn't change. It's fine.
That's so true. So yeah, maybe it's a little too early for that. That is real. Hockey, we solved this one a long time ago.
Yeah, give us 3 people to care about. Just 3. I love the commercial you made. Label the players so I know who that is.
Everyone's talking about that commercial, and I literally told my hockey fan friend that, David. He was like, "Isn't this awesome?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna lie, dude. Still don't know who those people are."
Oh yeah, have them wear name tags on their jersey, and then put their name and team on the screen as well.
Turn around. Yeah. You don't need a name tag.
That doesn't help, though. Oh, it's Johansson. Okay, well, now I got to figure out which one of them that is. Like, there's too many.
They were doing the highlights. Just have it be like, and it's me, Sidney Crosby, Pittsburgh Penguins. Like, I don't know if I need a name tag, but that was the part that, like, there was so much. Sorry, now we're critiquing a commercial, but I was having a hard time. I was literally like, I like that guy. Who is he? And I couldn't.
Yeah. Like, can't figure it out.
No, I couldn't figure out the numbers. Like, you're doing all these highlights, and I can't figure out who that is.
And if you ask a hockey fan, they're like, "Oh, you don't know who that is? Fine, I won't. I'll never know who that is. Fine." Complain about your sport.
One of them's Connor McDavid, but I don't know who.
Which I'll narrow it down. We need to do that's a fun segment. We do like a police lineup of hockey players. I give you a famous hockey, like Sidney Crosby. Pick which one is Sidney Crosby out of these white guys.
Yeah.
We might have to do that.
Yeah, we should do that. Hockey is in a hard spot because it's not their fault winter's crowded.
True. It's their fault that they feel like they need to go identical to the NBA. That doesn't make sense.
Them going in the summer, stupid. I do think that's, again, shorter season is the solution. I think take all the other sports out of it. They end in April. Great. Like, I'm watching them when NFL goes away. It's like the halfway mark. Awesome. That makes sense to me. I think that's good. Don't play all your games at 9 p.m. And listen, they're trying to get watched. Like, I don't know. I was thinking about that a little bit. I don't know. I was thinking about that. I would say I was going to propose a swap. And I don't love that I'd be moving them out of the winter, but I think I have a very non-creative solution that fixes 2 leagues' problems. I'm breaking ground, okay?
Okay.
You know who should play at the exact same time as the NBA?
Who's that?
The WNBA.
I disagree. I think other than football, because football can just do whatever they want to do. I think WNBA's got the perfect season, kind of, because I think their finals just ended. I don't know.
You're right.
Then it leads directly into the NBA. It probably should be exactly the opposite, where maybe it is. I don't know.
It is. They come into the end and they fill that gap. That is the idea. Yeah. That's the problem. No one, and again, WNBA is a little bit harder because I will say in their defense,
they're the easiest sport to fix.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I could say shut it down because they just lost $40 million this year in their most successful year. Congrats. But like, Randy, favorite jelly. We'll get to that later. Fix the WNBA postseason, rig it so Caitlin Clark plays. Done. That's the only thing that's proven that people will watch for women's basketball is Caitlin Clark. That's it. Do it.
Yeah, I also think they should be are you ready for this? I think they should be tied to the college teams.
How?
I haven't thought it through yet. It's not supposed to be creative.
Okay,
here's the solution. Right. People care about women's college basketball a little.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care as much about professional basketball. Therefore, tie them together.
That's fair. That's fair. Best thing about college basketball is Caitlin Clark. Let's send her back. And then at the same time, we're getting all of them doctorates. That's great for their future. We're really helping everybody out. Angel Reese will be able to afford her rent that she apparently can't afford right now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All of it.
Yeah, I think there's some solutions there. I think
I still think make it a TV show. Make it a reality TV show. All of it can be scripted fully. I think that's the only way it gets better. Make it all fake and make it a reality TV show.
I don't know. Here's the thing that I do think you're getting at. I think the initial premise, which I hear why it's asked this way, if the goal is why isn't it as big as the NBA? Because there's already an NBA. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not just a gender thing. It's also, and I think there's definitely some like historic, like, yes, we've got to overcome the fact like people don't watch women's sports. We just listed 4 other leagues that all get TV time first. Like I don't watch NBA.
True. Yeah, I don't either. But you can't say, yes, there's already an NBA, but the WNBA is embarrassing.
There are moments where it's embarrassing. Here's my only
last night, people said, what a game last night. And the only clip I've seen from it is 2 minutes of the ball not hitting the rim. That's not a joke.
I watched it.
It's not good.
No. But I'm with you. It's the USFL though. Like, and that's not a diss. That's a little bit better because it's football.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
you're right though.
No sport has a secondary. I'm with you. I just think that if that's the standard, it's not going to hit it. I'm with you on the quality is not there. But if that is the argument, I've got good news because I do think, you know me, optimist, that will get better. We've just started.
It'll get better.
Yeah, we've just started investing into the college game in this way. Like there used to be like one program that was developing like women to the standard that about 6 are now. So like the quality will improve if that is the thing. I think I hear you say that and I get it because of like you were trying to watch and cover it as like a person who covers sports media. I think there were people who have never watched a women's basketball game, WNBA game, and never will, who were like, I'd watch if they were better. Fuck you. You would not have. No way.
It's to the same sport. Like the only reason why the WNBA doesn't have rims at 9'8" is because high schools would have to have rims at 9'8". Like that's the only reason why they don't have that stuff. And that's what needs to happen for this sport.
Yeah. I have a different non-creative solution. This would really piss people off, but it would make you care about the WNBA a little bit.
Okay.
It's a joint league. And by that, I mean they're not playing together, but you only win the league. It's the best combined record. Like the Lynx and the Timberwolves are tied at the hip.
It does help the Timberwolves quite a bit, and the Knicks or whoever I guess would be with the Liberty.
The Liberty, yeah, it makes the Timberwolves Lynx combo a powerhouse, which is maybe what made me think of it. They're owned by the same people because that is like a benefit the college game has is like, also I cheer for this school, so I'm going to cheer for this thing. So I don't know, maybe listen, the Lynx logo is the Timberwolves logo anyway. Can we just I don't know, mix it up a little bit, make them the same thing?
That is a little bit interesting, where it's like college is allowed to have multiple things under one umbrella, but no pro teams are. Not truly. Because even like NBA, there's G League teams, but it's still not the same thing.
And it was interesting. Like the WNBA had a chance to do that. Like the majority is still owned by the NBA teams. So they could do that. I don't know if that would help, but I do think that never comes up with like women's basketball or like other sports of like they have that built-in investment of like that's just my team, so
it would,
I don't know, there's something there.
I feel like there's no doubt it would get more support.
That's all I'm saying. All right, Zach, let's end with a flurry. You could say a fantasy flurry, and wow, there you go, plug. And that said, let's talk football. None of these other guys. Let's fix the game.
Okay. We got a few here. So First off, how, Jake, would you fix the Dallas Cowboys? They are just perpetually bad or mediocre at this point. How are you going to fix them?
Easy. Jerry Jones, you're just an owner.
I mean, that's even more simple than what I was going to say. I was just going to say, bring him out to pasture and
kill him. Oh my God. Yeah. I did think about like retire, but he's a little bit, it's fine that it's his identity. Literally get out of the way.
Yeah. Lock him in a cage, lock him in his office. That's soundproof. Give him a fake phone, make him feel like he's still making phone calls. Yeah. I think that would fix it.
I mean, that's the thing. And then, hire a coach who wants to be a real boy. Like, it stinks that we've got to play the I can't hire anyone who makes me mad game.
Yeah. Did you see the radio interview with him calling in and they just asked like what went wrong and he like threatened to fire them?
Yeah.
It was like, one of the most white power, like old white guy evil conversations I've ever heard. It was kind of cool. He was just a movie villain.
It was. I have moments. We've talked about this before. There are moments I appreciate Jerry Jones because there is no mask.
True. Yeah, he says what he thinks.
He says what he thinks. And then I have moments where I'm like, but I don't like what he said. So therefore, still out. But that's the solution for them. I think like there isn't a problem they have systemically that's not tied to him. Also, like, stop being different. That's the other, like, he's got to be his own thing. Like, we're sticking with Dak Prescott. We're bringing in Ezekiel Elliott back. Why? Why are we doing those things?
Yeah. Remember the last time he was here? Like, that was the issue. Bring him back again.
I don't know. And it's because it's one guy's team. Like, so, I mean, that they are the easiest fix in the NFL. Just run them like a different team. And he could still own him and just like everybody else, just see how the people you hire do.
Mm-hmm. I fully agree. I think Cowboys are easy to fix. This one's less easy to fix. How would you fix the Jets? Because the Jets, I think, are the most cursed. Yeah. Maybe in the NFL.
It's my friend.
Yeah. And for me, this is my opinion that I think if you play in the same building as somebody, you're cooked. Like you can't share. One of the two teams are going to be cursed. I think Chargers and Rams, Jets and Giants, get out of town game. And I think that'll be a great draw, but one of them has to leave. And once the Jets or Giants get out of that building, they're going to be fine, I think. Like both of them, I think, will turn around. And Chargers, what are you doing? Like, knock it off.
You're the other one.
Yeah.
That
Read
is
the
funny
room.
because the Jets are the other one, aren't they? Even though they
Yeah.
have Aaron, like they're the other one. That firmly feels like the Giants stadium.
Yeah, 100%.
Could they be the Brooklyn Jets and play in Barclays?
Yeah, move to New York. Just move somewhere. Get out. Go anywhere. Everyone's like, MetLife is a dump. It's one of the worst stadiums in the NFL. Why do we have 2 teams play there?
How does, like, you can't have another New York stadium? I know. And if they build one, they'll share that too. But I totally agree. I think that's super fair. I also, this was going to be my simple thing. Hire a real coach. I don't know if this is, I don't know if I lost track. Sometimes this happens where it's like, I'm just very wrong. Like I didn't pay close enough attention. If that's what's happening, you call me out on it. Saleh was never the dude. He did a little bit better. I've just gotten sick of people being like his defense.
Well, you know what the real issue is? Woody has a lot of Jerry Jones in him.
Yes.
Who owns the team. And apparently, and I don't know how this happened, apparently he was just out of town, and then they hired Saleh, but he wasn't Woody's guy. I don't know how that happens. So then now Woody's been like hating him the whole time.
Well, he's been hating him the whole time, and the only reason why that does not surprise me is people like forget. No one cared when he hired. He was like the fitness guy. He was like the strength and conditioning coach, which I love that they hired him. I think he was a better coach than I thought he would be, but he didn't have an impact on the scheme. I thought it was crazy. He was getting credit for the defense, and he was hired because they were losing. I thought it was wild they brought in Rodgers and didn't change coaches.
That's weird.
So, change like that's been a 5-year thing. Like change coaches and like here's the real solution: hire Bill Belichick. He'll never work for the Jets, but
no, he hates Woody.
Yeah, and the Jets. You couldn't get Bill Parcells either. Not that he want to, but like. Hire, you know who'd fucking come back? Pete Carroll's a phone call away.
For sure.
Hire a guy and let him be there for 5 years. Like they've had like no consistency ever. Yeah. So they're cursed in that way, but it's like I still am not over the fact they fired Rex Ryan.
No, Vrabel's another one that you could probably do. But
true. Rex?
Yeah.
Bring him in.
I mean, we need Rex on the sideline so bad, mostly because we need Rob on the sideline again. And he is a package deal. So we need them there. Rex,
I'm not complaining about this. Him making it through COVID is surprising.
Rob or Rex?
Rob.
Yeah, that is true. I'm happy, though.
That's 100%. But doesn't it feel like a name that you're like, did I miss that? Did he make it? Like, it's like, yeah, right there. Happy he made it, by the way. Happy he made it. But it's like Joe Diffie, Rob Bryant. You know, it's like, oh, got him. Dang it. But no, I think that's an easy solution for the Jets. The solution, by the way, not Rodgers related.
No. I mean, yeah, if anyone's actually complaining about Rodgers there, did you watch the past however many years of the Jets?
Correct.
It goes deeper. How to fix the Deshaun Watson problem in Cleveland. So
we did it.
No, we didn't. I think we started. What we said last week came to existence, right? Deshaun Watson, Achilles tear, out for the year. He's going to come back. And the Browns are still on the books no matter what. If he plays again for like $150 million more dollars, including over 70 next year, which is crazy. We need to let the knife slip a little bit when they're doing the surgery. We need to mess up the surgery. I'm not saying we don't need to kill him. Unless you want to. You don't have to.
Smith him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I said on Twitter, we should let all the women that he assaulted do the surgery. And they can try to do the surgery correctly. That's fine. I'm not saying they need to mess it up on purpose.
Statistically, some of them are probably surgeons. So I think
true.
Yeah. So you know what? That is the solution. That's the simple solution. Never bring
because the Browns will get money back then.
Correct.
If he's hurt, doesn't play. So that's the best case scenario for the Browns. By the way, you're not allowed to talk badly about Deshaun Watson on Twitter. People get upset about it now. And so is Myles Garrett, apparently. Called him a model citizen for most of his career. When wasn't he, Miles? Tell me more.
The rest of it. By the way, he's fine. We don't need to stick up for him. That is such a weird thing. People being like, give him a chance. A chance? He's so paid. He's got one.
He's fine. He's fine. Was he convicted? I guess no. I guess not. Is that your checkmate?
They literally settled, frickers. Anyway, here's the thing. All that aside, I agree with you. That is the solution. He never comes back. Away we go. Let's say he does come back. Mm-hmm. Here's the solution. We're done. We're done. You have an excuse now. He's hurt. You defer his payment. Baseball players have to do this all the time. You defer his payment over 10 years.
I'm not sure if they can.
Well, they wouldn't be able to without Deshaun's agreement. Here's what I'm relying on. Deshaun is not going to want to play football again. I don't think he wants to play football now.
Why should he? Yeah, it doesn't look like he does.
So this would be the agreement. You go away. We're not going to play you. And this is why he would do it. The money's guaranteed. Listen, the baseball players do it too. Their money's guaranteed. Yes, it's convenient if you get it right away, but you'd have to play football and you are already hurt. Here's the deal. Instead of you getting it over the next 2 years, we're going to pay you $3 million for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Or, it'd have to be more than that. But honestly, be done with it. Do the thing. It'd be unprecedented in football. Guess what? You're already there.
True.
And at least then, I say that because I think he'd do it. Like, he doesn't want any part of what's happening either, I think. So
no.
He wants to get paid and not play football.
He misses Dabo. Like, there's only one coach for Deshaun Watson. That's it.
That was my other solution, was coaching change.
Yeah, we've seen Deshaun's got it in him. He just needs the right guy to bring it out of him.
Who was that asshole in Houston?
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, sorry, not in a moral way, but
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
By the way, only a Penn State guy could really reel in Deshaun Watson. I don't know if we've ever processed that, but coincidence, maybe. But I do think. Listen, I said this last week, and I do mean it. There's two ways to solve this problem. If the problem is what I think it is, and Deshaun's terrible, you're paying him a lot of money, we've solved it. They keep telling me he's not the problem. So therefore, I have a better solution. Deshaun is up but without a paddle. He needs a different coach.
What a move by the Browns this week, though. Like, to point the finger at the fans and be like, no, you guys stink. You guys are the problem. It's the perfect heel move. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I think it's great. But where do they go from here? Because now the Browns, their fans hate them. So it's like, that's the only thing they had. I don't know what they do, but it's super fun. And
by the way, the one person who can't do that to the Browns fan are the Browns. Like, because I'm also like, Browns fans, why'd you give him a chance? And some of them didn't, but some of them did. So I think that's a little funny. I like to think they saw Nick Sirianni and they're like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. We just saw that happen. Do we have anything else we need to fix this week?
I'm trying to think through the teams. San Francisco?
I've heard that they need to fire Kyle Shanahan. So I'm going to jump on board of all the internet analysts and agree. They should fire Shanahan. He's totally the issue.
Leg transplant for McCaffrey? It's the simplest solution.
Well, here's my thing. So I heard Brock Purdy's a system quarterback. So they should just change the system to winning again.
Yeah, I think so too. I did hear someone say, this is so funny to me. I love that I heard someone be like, and what are the 49ers going to do when they have to pay Brock Purdy? Here's a non-creative solution for you. Not pay him. They didn't pay Jimmy G. They didn't pay Trey Lance. They could have had Derek Carr. They picked him last.
Let's go back to your success. What has worked out for you? Oh, drafting a quarterback late, that just fits the scheme. There you go.
Correct. By the way, we don't even need to draft him. I've got your new 49ers quarterback. Congrats, Marcus Mariota. That's where you're going next.
True. At that point, what's he going to be like? He's younger than we thought. That was the whole thing that we talked about before.
He's your age.
God, that's crazy. I don't think so.
We did it last time. You're the same age.
God, he's been great for like 20 years. He's Titans aged him.
RG3's been out of the league. They were drafted 1-2.
Wow.
Is that right?
I think you might be right.
Yeah. I always do this. They were drafted the same year. I always think, correct. I always think that they're the same year as Andrew Luck. They're a year after.
God. That's how we fix the Colts. You're a quarterback away. We've proven it now. Andrew Luck. Welcome home.
Yeah, he's got a reenactment to get to.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
True.
No, I think those are the solutions. Any last thoughts from the league this week you wanted to get to?
Jim Irsay having an open mic during Dallas Clark's enshrinement is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. They unveiled the banner or his name on the side of the stadium. Yeah. Dallas has a mic, and then Jim is in his golf cart with a mic for some reason. He's like, "Oh fuck, look how good that looks." He's just talking shit. He's talking shit the whole time. I'm like, this is why the Packers need an owner, because this is the kind of guy the Packers would have. Just a drunk idiot, just geeking out about the Packers. That's what we need.
We've got about 100,000 of them.
Give one of them a mic. That's fine.
That's true. Give them all a mic.
Yeah.
Open mic Zoom meeting. I agree. The one funny thing I was going to bring up is, speaking of the Jets, I did kind of want them to win only off of if their winning score had been their temporary coach trying to challenge a play but dropping the flag, and they scored while he was fumbling with it. It would have been great. I was like, please let that be the deciding score.
That would have been great. My prediction, I think Jets make the 7th seed. I don't know why everyone is declaring them dead.
They're not dead at all. Their division stinks.
They play nobody the rest of the way.
Besides the Bills, of course. Yeah.
Once.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just saying, I said their division stinks, and I didn't want people to think I was including the Bills.
I think there's a legitimate chance they're the odds favorites in every game until the Bills, which I think is week 17.
I think so, too. You know what team I'm very tempted to call dead is the 49ers.
They're so weird. I don't think so. I think McCaffrey comes back in week 10, and I think they trade for another wide receiver. Brandon Ayuk's the worst football player of all time because you sit out, you test the football gods, and guess what? Look what happened. So he's out. That's good for team morale. Pearsall comes back. I mean, what better switcheroo? You got the guy who survived getting shot and the guy who quit on his team. Like, little switcheroo there. Trade for Deontay Johnson or DeAndre Hopkins. That seems like an obvious one. And away you go. They'll be in the Super Bowl. But who else in the NFC is going to test them? The Lions? Like, that's another team.
At their peak, I get it. Their schedule's hard. Their schedule's really hard the rest of the way.
It is, but I think they're fine. I don't know. I think everyone's overreacting to just everybody playing terrible, including Mahomes, by the way, needs to stop doing the whole fake running out of bounds thing. And the NFL needs to stop promoting it like he's Magic Man. He's going to get hit in the fucking chops, and he deserves to.
I will say that was the only one we didn't do. Let's end on this. How do you stop people from thinking the NFL is rigged?
Oh, the only way you do that is to rig it.
I thought that too. And you know who you rig it? Chiefs lose. It's the only
Chiefs win.
Yeah.
No, it's everyone's so upset because they think the NFL is scripted. No one's upset that their favorite TV show is scripted. So just script it. Then everyone's fine. It's
true. It took WWE 30 years, but now we're finally there. It's not fake. It's scripted.
Correct.
You know,
The results are predetermined, but it's not fake.
that's right. You saw the Netflix documentary. You think I got these scars, brother, in a fake sport? I drop my leg 400 times a year for 20 years. So, no, I drifted between accents there. But no, here's how you fix it. One game, no penalties against the team playing the Chiefs.
Right, yeah, just one.
Done.
Just one. Ben's poor Chiefs. What are we doing? That'd be great.
I will say, it doesn't have to be scripted or anything. It's crazy to me that there's not one. Like, if I was in that ref team that was umpiring the Chiefs that week, I would be like, hey, you know what they're talking about. Like, can we, like, I'd be counting, you know?
Yeah.
How many here, how many there? Be like,
let's prove a point.
Let's prove a point. Make Mahomes take a hit.
Sure. Tell the defense. Dap up the defense afterwards.
Steel chair.
Yeah, hand it to him for sure. Get a hot tag. Kill him.
Yeah. Oh man, love a hot tag.
Love a hot
tag. If you could hot tag any NFL player, why would it be Penei Sewell?
Ooh, George Kittle was up there too.
Oh, George Kittle's good,
but Penei Sewell is great.
After
Penei Sewell needs to touch the ball every game.
Oh, that's also true. Trent Williams was throwing punches yesterday.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He's one of the scariest guys in the NFL.
I'm trying to think who's got like a crazy amount of Chris Jones would be a good hot tag.
TJ Watt.
I'd be afraid to hit his hand, but yep, that's a good hot tag.
Yeah, there's a few.
Dan Campbell.
Oh, Dan Campbell.
Ultimate Warrior shake. Get him in there.
I'm so sick of everyone being like, Dan Campbell's going to screw the Lions with all these fakes. Fuck you. Like, he's the only person having fun in the NFL right now. And it's working. At some point, is it going to lose games? Yeah. Is it going to be when they're probably trying to go to the Super Bowl? Absolutely. But it's going to be the most exciting thing that we see.
Here's the only thing is, I do think someone's got to be like, hey, can we save him for a different time?
We need Penei Sewell running routes in week 4 for some reason. We need it.
I like that. The fourth down shit kind of blows my mind. And here's what they do. They always put a hat on a hat. That's the only thing I'm complaining about is it's 4th and 7. It's already bold to go for it on 4th down. Now you're doing it. It'd be bold to like go for it on like 4th and 2. It's 4th and 7 and you're on your 20-yard line and it's a triple reverse. Can we do like a normal 4th and 7 play?
No, can't do it. We gotta screw with them a little bit.
Because you know when Penei Sewell coming off the edge would be cool? 1st and 10.
Sure, but then you gotta play 3 more downs. Get Penei Sewell out there when either it's gonna work and it's the greatest thing of all time, or he gets to go to the sideline.
Because here's what's happening. Dan Campbell's going. He's got a set of plays he really wants to call, but he's told himself he can only call them when it's 4th down or when it's like a short distance thing. So when those come up, he never says no because when's he going to get Penei the ball? So just do it always, Dan. You don't have to wait till 4th down.
You say that, but it's like the Dudley boys didn't have to, power bomb someone through a table to win the match, but it's a lot nicer when they do it when they win the match, right? Like it could be right away. They could get the tables out to start the match, It's
true. They didn't have to say "was out" and headbutt him in the groin.
Yeah, they didn't have to, but they did.
They did both.
I love that.
I do love that. Google the Dudley Boys. That's it for this week. Thank you for listening.
Best highlight tape you'll see in wrestling, I think. So definitely go do that. We'll be back next week. If you're watching this video, comment any other things you need fixing. And we'll do it. It's pretty easy. This is the easiest thing we've done. So we'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Flurry Sports, reign the Wild West just for you.